Hey, people, WTIM here. I am your host, Tad Al. So, we are in another segment of our show. I have a very good topic for us today, and it is where is our identity? The, the subject is dealing with why the things that are happening to us continue to happen. Um, you know, when I was growing up, there were stores in our neighborhoods that were black owned, and everything. We had stores, we had businesses, even a lot of the churches that were in our neighborhoods, but in a lot of our families, we have properties and things, land and stuff like that. And what we begin to do is we begin to sell this stuff off um, to the highest bidder. You know, even in my family right now, there's some properties that we've been fighting about for years. And the biggest thing that we need to look at in our culture is that we are the highest consumer of everything, but we don't own anything, and that is the biggest reason why the stuff that's happening to us in our culture, like the George Floyds and Trayvon Martins and things like that, continue to happen to us. The George Floyd situation, justice, I guess you could say justice was served. But in, Breonna Taylor's, uh, the case with Zimmerman, and all of that, these things continue to happen. First and foremost, what we need to understand, we're the only race that doesn't have an actual name for our people. You know, when you look at every other race, Chinese, Korean, Russian, Caucasian, um, Mexican, Puerto Rican, everybody has a name, but when you come to us, we are black. We're described by a color, and I know you've heard, you should have heard it before if you haven't, but I know you probably have, and it's like that is one of the dynamics that we're facing, but a lot of it is coming from us not having any ownership of nothing, and the things that we do own, we're selling it off, to other people, to other cultures. On top of that, um, you know, um, when it comes down, to us having something, like I said, we're the highest consumer of everything, from we don't own anything in any of the industries that is out there, in the world, the construction industry, the medical industry, the transportation industry, and that is one of the things I continue to try to teach to our people is ownership. The more you start looking at this ownership, the better off you're going to be. And it could be, it starts somewhere, but even with, the music industry, a lot of our people are trying to buy back the rights to our music, and a lot of them are dying over this. Don't think for 1 minute that the whole Tupac and Biggie situation was just a humbug situation. That's not the case. A lot of people, are what was his name? The guy that died over in Tennessee. Like these things are not just happening for no reason. You're worth millions and millions of dollars, and somebody can't just touch you when you're worth that much. Uh, and it comes down to a fact of them really only wanting people to go so far. Our culture in general, When you look at like the NFL, we're fighting for rights to have ownership in the NFL. They don't want you in there. Bill Cosby tried to buy Channel 4, and look what they did to him. They want to say it was over something that happened 60 years ago, but at the end of the day, they're trying to figure out how this man under our nose got that much money to be able to, even approach them for that. I mean, that was ownership. When you have somebody offering you over $10 billion, you can't just turn the other cheek to that. Like, hey, like that is going to everybody involved in that deal is going to make some money. So, hey, we got to shut this down. And the only way that, to be able to shut it down was to bring something up that was 60 some odd years ago. And in that he was put in prison, he was held there, lost everything, all the key to the city, and HBCUs let him go, and everything like that. They turned their backs on him. A lot of his stuff was taken off of television. There was a time you could flick it on, the Cosby Show was right there. I haven't really been into the TV thing, so I don't know how much is being broadcast today. But that is one case in matter. And basically what they did was they shut him down. To make it to where he can't make that much money no more to even come back and talk to us again. And then they let him out. The Muhammad Ali, when he was, anytime you become bigger than your own name, they have to bring you back down to size. When you're going over here across seas and you fighting in another country and you got people screaming your name, wearing your face on their shirts, and stuff like that. Like, people don't like that, because you are a voice. You're a voice without even talking, so they have to shut that down. Mike Vick came into the league. Nobody could catch him. I'm a Packer fan. I was worried about Buddy. I was like, oh my God, look at this kid that's coming to the league. We can't even catch him. Like, that's dangerous. And look at where he could have went with his career. But they shut him down over some dogs. A lot of people will say, hey, man, he was fighting dogs and everything like that. He was supposed to go down, But literally, I sat up here and watched the guy sit on national television on the internet with cocaine and everything in front of him. And all he had to do was go do a couple months in drug rehabilitation, and he was right back on 2.5 Men. But I mean, these are the dynamics that we have to look at. When it comes down to it, but also we have to stop. We have to stop fighting each other. Because they're helping. We're helping them in that fight. When we're sitting up here and we're shooting each other, killing each other. I was in Georgia. The girl died over a bowling ball at the bowling alley. I'm pretty sure it was over a little more than just that. But you're at a bowling alley. I mean, come on, over a bowling ball. They want to say it was. I don't know if his name was Young Thug or whatever, but they're trying to say it was his wife or girlfriend or whoever it was. But I mean, when you can't go bowling, that's something that you want to look at. I mean, and look at where these things are happening. Whose neighborhoods are they happening in? Like this is what we got to look at. Murders and, left and right. Like I was saying the other day, I remember when I was young and, somebody might have got killed or something. And it was a shocker to us. It was like, wow, like they used a gun. And, I mean, because back then, you get cut, or something like that. It wasn't nothing about, what I'm saying, people shooting, I mean, you really want a person dead when it comes down to that. But we have to stop doing it to ourselves, y'all. I mean, Look how they did Deion Sanders, down in Mississippi. This guy went down there and he helped bring back, you know, attention like to HBCUs. He had a whole college uplifted, like he just like he renovated it basically. They got a whole new locker room, whole new football field, and all of that. What were you running on before? And because he got a job that was paying him more, you get mad at him, and then you rob him while he out on the football field. Like, so we got to stop doing this stuff to each other. Also, I mean, it comes back to that, as well. I mean, this is a really big subject, for all of us, and I mean, it starts with ownership, y'all. Uh, Land is a really big thing. I'm really big on land. I got me a semi truck parking lot that I started. I also want to get more land, and some of the game that I can give to other people is you can take land, you can rent out lots on the land. If you get like maybe 3 or 4 acres, you can take and section it out in lots and you can rent those lots out. However, the thing is, you own it. How can you be here on earth and leave here without a piece of earth? That's the most important thing on earth is a piece of earth. If you have a piece of earth that's yours, that's why, I have such a problem with, what's going on with my family right now. We have some land, and it's like since I was 17 years old, I'm not going to tell y'all how long ago that was, but since I was 17 years old, I know the fight was going on all the way back then. But we need to do something with it. If you have family and they have land and they have property, don't sell it off you all. I mean, there's so much that we could do. Like keep our stuff with us. Just I was watching a video not too long ago, and they were talking about how with we sit up here and we make it somewhere, and then we go and we get involved in interracial marriages and things like that. We turn around and give what we have right back to people that we're trying to get something from. Uh, and I'm not against interracial marriages. I say if you find love, go for love. However, think about your family. Think about your. And it's hard. Don't get me wrong. It really is. It's hard because even with me, with the businesses that I'm operating, I find myself stuck in a situation sometimes where I can't really hire my own. I have to hire outside of my culture. Because I want things done right. I want people to show up to work on time. I want people to come and do a good job. It goes back to what I was saying before, as far as like, uh, you know, people not really being in the workplace that they really want to be in. They're just getting a job just to pay the bills. And I get it. I understand. That you have bills and things like that to pay, but don't make the rest of the world suffer just because you want to make a pay a bill. If you're going to be there, do a good job at what it is you do. Even still right now, there's things that I still have to answer to people for. Just because you own a business doesn't mean you don't have anybody to answer to. I've got OSHA that I have to worry about. With the transportation thing, I've got Department of Transportation to worry about. Insurance companies. A lot of people, I've had people get upset with me because I had to drug test them. But they're like, I keep telling, it's not me. The insurance company is the one that requires it. I can't even let you drive for me if you can't pass this drug test. So they're not going to insure you. So we have to we have to, when I say scratch each other's back, we have to do it in a way to where, hey, if I'm coming to you, I am hireable. I am going to do a good job working with you. And I mean, let's stop looking. I was listening to Jay-Z one time, and he said, you want to hire your friends and things like that. Like, you want to, you want to do that for them. Like, you might want to take your cousin and make him your cameraman, but he's not a cameraman. You need a cameraman, you know. So, you need to hire a cameraman, and maybe there's something else you can find for your cousin or for your homeboy. Even Master P was talking about it the other day. Like, look, hey, I sit up here and he don't even talk to me anymore unless you talking about giving me $150,000. Because what you'll do is you'll go deal with the dude that got the suit and the tie on because you think he's smart. You know what I'm saying? But what he gonna do to you? He gonna say, I don't want no money from you. I don't want nothing from you. But when you do your deal is for $500 million. Next thing you know, he said he want 5% before this deal is even made. And then you turn around and you just gave this man in 90 days, you just gave him $50 million. And that's something you wouldn't even do for your own people that's been with you the whole time. And that's real. It's like, right, I mean, I'm just from doing my channel, I'm learning a lot about the people around me. These are real facts, that I'm speaking. So at the end of the day, it's like, are you trying to help me spread a message? You're not spreading it. I sit up here and I look at people all the time. Yeah, well, are you celebrating this holiday? Okay, well, yeah, I'm celebrating it, but I'm not celebrating it because it's the 4th of July. I don't know. Yeah, I've heard about what they call it, the 4th of July's. I'm not into the spooky stuff. I get it. But that's not why I'm doing 4th of July. You can't come and kick it with me sometimes because you got to go to work. But if you off right now because it's a holiday and you can make it to my house, yeah, I'm gonna break bread with you. I'm gonna shoot some fireworks. I like shooting fireworks. It's the only time I can actually really do it legally. I mean, I can't if I go shoot right now. If I go out back and I start shooting fireworks off, man, they call the cops. In the neighborhood. I mean, I live in this neighborhood. They call the police. Like real quick. So no, I mean, I can't shoot them right now. But there is a time where you can shoot them. People sit up here and they shoot their guns. I don't see anybody saying nothing about that. They shooting their guns off at New Year's. Boom, boom, boom. I mean, I heard cannons going off before. They tore a whole store up. The wall to the store had bullet holes in it for days. They had a big old hole in the wall where I don't know what they shot at that thing, but like it was a big old hole in the wall. So at the end of the day, people, is get your peace, get your piece of this earth, get your piece in this world. Hold on to it, protect it. There's all kind of trust funds and things like that you can do with the things that you have, and make sure that people don't sell it or this or that is supposed to be done with it. You can set it up like that. So, but anyhow, I mean, I hope that this touched some people. What's going on? What's going on? Uh, I hope it touched some people, and it made an impact because that's what I'm here for, to make an impact. And let's try to get some things changing around here. Let's get some ownership going. Let's uplift our people. And since we're at it, since we're putting down other holidays, why don't we try, you know, uplifting our own holiday? You know, and Let's celebrate that. I'm your host. I'm Tad Al. I'm out. Mwah.